Welcome everyone to Jackson Heights, Queens for a very special broadcast today. The Urbanist main theme song is blasting on the car radio because we're driving down Northern Boulevard, a place that's close to my heart because this is where I grew up. And we are going to explore the areas of here in Jackson Heights where I grew up for the first about 14 years of my life and kept coming here because I had very close friends here for many, many years. I'm Ariel, this is Urbanist, and let me know where you're watching from. Let's explore Jackson Heights, Queens. And why are we exploring Jackson Heights, Queens today? Well, it's because it's my birthday, and I want to celebrate it with all of you. And here we are on Northern Boulevard, and I'm so excited to show you the places where I grew up in, the places I lived, and the schools I went to. So join me on this birthday broadcast. And today, it's my birthday, and I'm so excited to just hang out with all of you. So let me know how you're doing, let me know where you're watching from. And I'm actually today with my dad, who is known as the executive producer of these car tours.
How are you? Happy birthday to my son.
Thank you so much. And he's driving us around. Actually, this is
just a few years older than me, or just a few years older than me.
Just a few, maybe 10 or so. This is actually a little bit of a bittersweet view because I actually was driving with my dad here on September 11th, 2001, down Northern Boulevard. And I remember seeing the huge plume of smoke here and looking down on this drive. And that was kind of a stark sight, and I still remember it to this day. So I can't really not remember that. But the interesting thing is New York City has changed since then. So the skyline we're seeing is not fully the New York City skyline. If you notice, those other buildings more towards the left are Long Island City. Yeah, they're right in Queens. So it's really interesting how everyth's changed. And almost we see more buildings. We only used to see the
Empire.
The Empire, right? It would stick out.
It's only the Empire would stick out, right?
So it's quite different. And our local Blockbuster was also nearby here.
Yeah.
Right. Hey, Panajotis, thank you so much for the 10 euro super chat. It says, happy birthday, Ariel, and greetings to Mr. Vera as well. Yes, my dad's name is also Ariel. 2 Ariels. Anonymous dude says, we're a kind bunch. Charlene says, happy day of birth. Thank you so much. So here's also another restaurant we used to visit all the time, the IHOP. It's closed. Oh, they closed down. But this is basically my first experience of American brunch. Because in Puerto Rico, we really don't have a super strong tradition of brunch. It's more something we encounter here in New York. And yeah, unfortunately it has closed, but this is one of the old IHOPs. Also a diner we visited ever so often. And right here in the corner used to be this corner store that we will walk to every once in a while. And my dad used to buy me comic books, magazines and comic books, yeah. And Coca-Cola, which was a must. Greetings to the executive producer, says Kay. Happy birthday to you, Ariel. Enjoy your day to the max. I definitely will. Michelle, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Elle says, hi, Dad Urbanist. Hey. Thank you so much for the super chat, Panajotis. Oh my God, my birthday's tomorrow, says Cartier. Oh, cool. We have a lot of Geminis tuning in. Well, our first stop is going to be the very house I moved to with my family. I was a mere 4 months old. And my dad is going to lead us over there, and then we're going to walk for a little bit, and then we're going to do one more drive after that to where I went to school and graduated from 8th grade. Candy says, I'm 1 year older and wiser. Jose says PS69 is IS-145. I know of IS-145. I don't know where PS69 is.
post office. 37 Avenue.
Okay, so my dad is
73rd.
73rd, okay. So my dad used to work in the public school system, and thus he knows it pretty well. He used to be a school psychologist. And we're gonna pass by these areas soon. The music that's playing right now is music that you can find on Spotify, you can buy on iTunes. Also, you can buy the digital album on teespring.com/store/urbanist. Stephanie says, happy birthday to you. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Donald says, happy birthday to our fearless urbanist leader. May you have many more wonderful journeys in life. Thank you so much, Donald. Okay, so I was very young when living here, so I need help from my 3 months old. I need help from my dad to point out which one was the house. This is this one right here. So right here in the bottom is where I lived, coming here as a little infant boy from Puerto Rico and settling here in New York City. Both of my parents seeking new opportunities here. So I'm gonna step out of the car over here and then we're gonna continue walking around. So meet me in front of Our Lady of Fatima, and also make sure that the music is playing, the urbanist music, when they see you. Yeah. All right. Okay, so say goodbye for my dad for now.
Goodbye.
We'll see him in a little bit.
Later.
All right. So I'll see you in about 45 minutes, about 40 minutes. All right. Oh, it's sunny. Whoa. Hey, Action Kid. Hello, Girl in the Curl. Hello, Yogi Berra. So my dad is off. Going to celebrate later with family, and we're going to meet up with him again because we're going to drive a little bit more in a small bit. This is the neighborhood I grew up. Jackson Heights, Queens, is located in more the northern part of Queens, along the 7 train line. Now, some people might not call this Jackson Heights. Some people might call this more East Elmhurst. I grew up knowing it as Jackson Heights. Because we're so close in terms of public transportation, in terms of the road, in terms of all the grocery stores. We're very close to Jackson Heights proper. So I knew it as that neighborhood. Here's the first place I grew up with. Hey, Annie, thank you so much for the $1.99. Alexander says, thank you so much for the €10. A nopal solo lo miran cuando tienes tunas. So I think someone is based there, but thank you so much for tuning in. You love my shirt, says Carly. I'm so glad you do. Thank you. Wow. Okay, that brings back memories. Hey, Alexander. Bella says, I love the shirt. It compliments you. Jessica, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Anonymous dude, thank you so much. Annie, happy birthday, Gemini. So actually I have a few photos from growing up here. They were putting up the alarm, so let me not stand in front. But let me pull up a few photos. People were asking, how can we see a little Ariel? A little Ariel, back in the day. So here is when I was just a little infant. So I was just a little boy, and right behind me is my brother, Christian. He is based in Florida. Maybe one day you'll meet him. And you can probably guess my age by the shirt that I'm wearing. That shirt is the Batman shirt. Batman was a recently very popular movie, and I already was donning some comic book shirts. And then there's even more photos. So this is me exploring the backyard. Yep, I was exploring the backyard. I couldn't walk necessarily outside in the street level, but I was enjoying the backyard, which was wonderful. I was reviewing food and drinks. Indeed I was. Indeed I was. So here's my dad, the other Ariel, known as the executive producer of the car tours. Donald says, I guess you weren't drinking coffee back then. No, I started drinking coffee way later. Way later. And I got one more set of photos. Let me show it to you. Which one is over here? All right, there it is. There it is. I was interested in architecture even back then. I was looking at the building materials of the apartment entrance. Right there. Oh, here's one more. I like this photo. Susan says your dad hasn't changed a bit. No, he's not. He has not actually. So no, he has not. So those are some photos of me as a infant here in Jackson Heights, Queens. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Basically, the history of today's video is a history of me. And the reason I'm doing this is because I host these shows. You get to see me for hours on end, exploring different cities all around the world. And some people always ask me, hey, where do you grow up in? How was your childhood? People are curious about that. So because it's my birthday, it seems appropriate. So let's walk around. Usually I don't do anything too personal because this is not a personal vlog. But for this day, we'll consider this history. It'll be a personal history. Let's continue walking around. Anonymous Dude says, may I see your outfit today? Sure, I'll put my camera down. That's my outfit, my birthday suit. Lena says, are we eating cake today? You know, we might pass by a bakery that is, it's not the same one that I grew up with, but it's in the same location. Robert says, very hipster. JC Browser says, happy birthday, enjoy. Thank you so much, Annie, for the $2 super chat. Wendy says, I'm loving seeing this. Oh, I'm so glad. So I remember walking these very same city streets. Wendy says, looking good as always. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Leo, for the birthday wishes. Ark, feliz cumpleaños. Que Dios te bendiga. Gracias, Ark. Para cualquier persona mirando en español, estamos explorando el barrio mío, que yo me crié cuando yo era pequeño, los primeros 14 años de mi vida. Porque es un día especial para mí. Y ese es mi cumpleaños. So today's my birthday. We're exploring my own neighborhood here, kind of wandering around, enjoying the sights. Like for the birthday boy, says Savvy. Oh, thank you so much. Hello, Mulaney, for a $5 super chat. Bell says, such a nice neighborhood. Yeah, it is. So this is what used to be McClancy High School. Debbie sent 1,000 stars. Oh my God, Debbie, thank you so much for 1,000 stars. Debbie, very generous with 1,000 stars, which is about $10. Again, Facebook this month, they're doubling the stars. So I end up getting twice of whatever you send me because Facebook is paying extra. So thank you so much. And thank you for everyone sending super chats and everything. And Ariel looks 27. I just turned 20. Shh. Don't say anything when I ever feature a cocktail or a beer. Shh. Hey, girl in the curl, nice to see you here. Hello, Nancy. Verónica dices, muchas felicidades, hoy es un día especial y se vale hacer lo que deseas. Okay, let me mute for a little bit. Someone, oh, never mind. L says Ariel's 21. Shh. Okay, so one sound I grew up with is this sound you're hearing right now. Don't know where the plane is passing through. It's passing through behind one of the buildings. Oh, over here. That's a sound I know all too well. Does your passion for travel have to do anything with planes flying over your neighborhood? That is an excellent question, S. Fields. I don't know. Maybe it has some type of subconscious effect. Beyond that, what I can tell you for sure is I was traveling ever since I was 4 months old, coming here to Puerto Rico. But beyond that, I mean, coming here from Puerto Rico and going back to Puerto Rico about 3 times a year, which is Christmas, Easter, and summer. Beyond that, I would also be surrounded by different cultures. So here in these blocks alone, I was next to Ecuadorians, I was next to Palestinians, Greek, Colombians, Filipinos, Indians, Bangladeshi a little bit further down. I had basically everyone around the world. Of course, there was always Chinese food places in all around the city. So there were always all these different cultures. And the Irish, because I went to Catholic school, which you're gonna see soon. And the Catholic schools there were a lot of Irish Americans, the older ones who stuck to the neighborhood because this used to be an Irish neighborhood. And then also Italian Americans because a lot of the younger Catholic school staff were mostly Italian American. So I really grew up with the entire world around me. I think that had left a deep impact on me and gave me the travel bug ever since I was little. But also the city bug. You know, I love the city. I love walking around cities. I grew up in a dense city. You know, it's not, the hustle and bustle is not so loud, but it's still a very dense area. You can walk anywhere in these areas. So here we see a little bit of the cultural diversity. Here we have a Slovaki truck. I did not come to this high school. Ironically, it would have been a very short commute for me. I went to a different high school called St. Francis Prep, which was located in Fresh Meadows, Queens. But here's the residence for the clergy who's based in this high school. Wendy says, made the coolest guy you are. Susan said 500 stars. Thank you so much, Susan. Kay says, us Geminis have a travel wanderlust. Was Jackson Heights place the only place you lived in Queens, as NYC Cherry Grove? Yes, for my childhood, it was the only place I lived in Queens. Only place for my entire early years. The only place I lived outside of Queens or Jackson Heights was in Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico. 3rd grade. Also, it is still a Catholic high school. Interesting, I almost thought it changed to public. So Monsignor McClancy High School. Queens has a very unique style. It does, it does. You know, there's something unique about Jackson Heights. There is somewhat a feeling of it looking suburban. But at the same time, of course, it's very dense. All around the neighborhood. Gordon says happy birthday. Marianne, nice to see you here. I went to St. Francis Prep. That long commute from Jackson Heights was brutal. Jamie, oh Jamie, you went to St. Francis Prep as well. And you took that long commute. Wow, yeah. All right, let's walk through here. We're gonna walk into 72nd Street. In honor of Urbanist B-Day, we pronounce Urbanist the King of Queens for the day, says Sean. Thank you so much, Sean. I will gladly be the King of Queens. Mohammed, I turned 25 this year. Oh, happy birthday, Mohammed. Glad you turned 25. Maybe arepas from the arepa lady today, says Cherry Grove. We're a bit. Maybe I'll show you a pastry. And maybe if the local shish kebab vendor is still there, then maybe we'll try shish kebab. Joanne sent 200 stars. Thank you so much. John C. sent $5. Thank you so much, John C. Happy birthday, fellow 90s babies. Hey, Justin. So another familiar sight I grew up was a lot of these taxi cars parked here. A lot of taxi drivers lived here in this area of Queens because this neighborhood is also has a large population of Indians, Pakistanis, well, Pakistanis is a little bit less to extent, but Indians and Bangladeshi and Middle Easterns. So that's why, and of course the stereotype is of course has truth in it, where a lot of the taxi drivers are indeed from those nationalities. And I saw a lot of these cars always parked here. Hey, Linda. Justin says, I turned 29. Justin, no. Just old is like if you're 110. Adam, what kind of people drive taxis? It was, from my own personal experience and of course what you read in statistics, there was a lot of Indians, Bangladeshis, and Middle Eastern people driving taxis. Mala sent 500 stars. Thank you so much, Mala. I appreciate you. Rafael, gracias por lo bendiciones. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a taxi driver, said Candy. Oh, that's so cool. Have you seen any Tesla taxis around? No, not yet. Not yet. Hey, Oliver, happy birthday. Thank you so much, Oliver. Christine, do I have any siblings? I do. I was not raised with my brother. He's a half brother. And we're gonna see what house this is right around the corner. I'm walking very slow, just taking my sweet time, kind of enjoying the neighborhood. But that is my brother when he was younger, and me in the middle. Hi, you drove a taxi for 5 years here in Denmark. Wages were low, long hours, drunk customers, but fun for a while. Oh, I'm so glad. Ooh, this is for sale. Who wants to buy this house? We live in quiet Jackson Heights. Let me know. Wayne, you love this neighborhood. Me too. Lots of trees here. We hear the sparrows singing their songs. I love the front yards in these neighborhoods. Valeria, thank you so much for the stars, Valeria. Hey, sunshine. Well-kept neighborhood, it really is. Michelle says, I look a lot like my dad when I was younger. Indeed. That's how you can tell he's my dad. Indeed I do. And unless it has a yard, I'll buy. Yes, they do have yards. Yards are usually shared between the first floor and the second floor. Usually the owners, if the owner does live in the house, usually they live in the second floor because it's bigger and has full access to the yard. So we can kind of peek in and see the yard over here. Let me zoom in. I love the muscle car you passed. Yeah, there's a few of them. There's a few of them in Roland. If money was no object, where in New York City would you live? S. Fields, great question. If money was no object, where would I live? Right now, I would live in a penthouse apartment that has views of both downtown and midtown Manhattan in the neighborhoods of either Soho or Tribeca. Would probably be one of the two neighborhoods I would move in. Nolita as well, because Nolita is basically Soho. So those are the neighborhoods I would move in. The definition of middle class says hide. Yes, it is. Hey, René, el tiempo pasa, nos vemos poniendo viejos. Hey, René says, the time passes, we see each other grow old. Gracias, René, por el super chat. All right, let's go. Ah, there we go, we hear the planes again. There it is. There it is. This is what I grew up with every day. Planes flying overhead. Hey, Deanne, what a great neighborhood. We don't have anything like this in North Fork, surprisingly. Marianne says, cool shirt. Thank you so much, Marianne. So we do have some single family housing popping up here. Look at this. Where would this HQ be located? If I were the overlord of the earth, I don't know, it will be the Chrysler building. Or I would build a new Art Deco skyscraper literally right next to it. Yeah. Hey, Candy, nice to see you here. Welcome. So now we're gonna walk through my second childhood block, 73rd Street. Hello, Rafael. Bienvenidos. Plane sounds are a constant thing here near the naval station, largest naval station in the world, says Deanne. Oh, interesting, Deanne. Interesting, yeah. What area is that? Do remind me. Did my stars go through, says Joe. I can't see stars too prominently on Facebook, so I can't tell you for sure, Joe, but Kay can confirm if they went through. Thank you so much for wanting to send stars. Stars, you have to buy them and then send them. So it's a two-step process, as opposed to like a super chat. Super chat, you kind of buy them and send them at the same time. Here's my block. Oh, lots of memories. Hey, buenos tardes, las Canarias. Gracias, Gauchi. Gauchi is tuning in from the Canary Islands. Mi familia hace generaciones y generaciones y generaciones viene de las Canarias. Muchas generaciones, porque tengo el nombre Ortiz también. I have many, many generations that are from the Canary Islands. So this is a school for the deaf, which I grew up right next door to. Yeah. Look who we have here. Earl has come and joined the party. Looking for a donut, I suppose. There's a Home Depot nearby. There is a Home Depot nearby. I did not grow up right by the Home Depot. That was empty plot of land before. Old friends live in the neighborhood. They do in a different section. I'll show you on the next portion where we'll be driving to that area. Stay tuned. This area, I don't know. I really didn't have friends that lived in these immediate 20 blocks. Most of them live closer to 90th Street. Wendy says, God, Earl has come to wish you happy birthday. He has indeed. So I always found these houses very sweet. Single family houses, tiny. It feels like your own suburban paradise in the middle of the city. What style of housing is this located? So there's a mixture. Single family, right over here, single family. And single family as well. Here we have what is a new apartment building. That is interesting. This is new. Not too many apartment buildings here, but there are multi-family housing, not full-on apartment building, which are these ones where I grew up. I'll show it to you. Favorite childhood memory, says Inkspire Life. Ooh, Inkspire Life. Great question. Actually, I have a photo for that. So, many, many years ago, in a neighborhood far, far away. A huge snowstorm ravaged New York, covering it in a thick blanket of snow. This made all the childhood kids run amok with happiness because it was a snow day, and also we can do anything we would like. We could build snowmen, we could build snow tunnels, we could build snow slides, and that's exactly what we did. This is a snowstorm right here in this very same block that you're seeing right now. That tree, you see this tree? That's the same tree. The same exact tree of this massive snowstorm. We ran amok on this town. And I remember building with a few childhood friends. Two of them was a brother and sister from Palestine originally. There was a brother and sister from Colombia that lived right underneath. And there was a girl who was actually American, one of the few white Americans, probably Irish ancestry, that lived here. And there it is. That was a snowstorm. That was my favorite memory. So, the first place I lived here was here. No, second place, sorry. Second place. Moved here maybe when I was 3 or 4. I'll confirm with my dad. And I lived on the 3rd floor with these huge planes flying overhead. Right there, I lived on the 3rd floor. Right there. Let me zoom in a little bit. Baby Urbanist running the street. That was the 1978 snowstorm when I was born, right? It says David. Of course, David. Of course it was the 1978 snowstorm. Of course, David. So I grew up here on the 3rd floor. And let me show you a few photos. Oh, someone's playing music. Wait up. Okay, so someone was walking around with music blasting, so I had to turn it off. The streets are filled with music, just like Washington Heights. So, as I mentioned, right over here. Ooh, let's see if we can align this. Yeah, we can align this. Hopefully people won't find it too weird that I'm filming their apartment. But look at this, right here. I'm trying to find the angle. Oh, it's an odd angle. I think the angle's right over here. Yeah. No. This. Try to find the angle. I got it, ladies and gentlemen. I got it. Almost. I gotta like step into the property in order to get the right angle. But look at this. Right here. That's us in the front. Here's the apartment inside. Here's another view of the apartment. Lots of parties my family had with family friends. All of them were Puerto Rican or New Yorkers. Well, actually, one of them was New Yorker. The rest were actually Puerto Rican. They moved here in their either 30s or 20s. And right there, yeah. That was the house I grew up in. Right here. So I have one particular memory. Let's wait for the person to pass by. Tell us about the music. Is it a playlist compiled of various artists, Debbie? The music is owned by me. I am the producer. I paid for the music, I hired people for the music, and I led the creative vision behind the music. So the music is produced by me. all the music you're listening to in this show, almost everything. I use about 70% of all the music now I'm using on my videos are Urbanist official songs. And you can find them via purchase on iTunes, or you can purchase it as a digital album on teespring.com/stores/urbanist. I'll put up the site right now. Here it is. That's where you can buy the digital album. So I have actually a wonderful memory here. Right next door, on the 3rd floor, lived a Palestinian family. As I mentioned, I grew up with already knowing all these cultures, but I had one kind of like mini culture shock that probably had led me to fall in love with trying out new foods. So Palestinian brother and sister, to me, they were very foreign because they wore different clothes. They always wore black. And I remember their mother was always in a veil. And I never saw their father. I assume he worked maybe a double shift. And I remember going to their house and see this gigantic television. I was like, oh my God, you guys own a gigantic television. And the mother asked me, hey, do you want to stay over for dinner? Thank you so much, Jason, for the 100 stars. And someone left a $10 super chat. Who was it? Don't go. Thank you so much, David, for the $10 super chat. Thank you. I go inside, and the mother asks me, hey, do you want to stay over for dinner? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And she's making, and I can see that's pasta. So I'm excited. But if you go to many American households, we don't really make that fresh pasta. You know, we usually make it from the can, at least back in the 1990s. This was fresh pasta. It had a lamb bolognese. So she serves me the pasta, and I'm looking at this beautiful dish of gigantic spaghetti lamb bolognese. The kids are looking at the plate, but they're waiting for something. And I'm wondering, why are you just not digging in? And the mother says, hey, wait, because I'm very hungry. And she takes out a huge bucket from the fridge, puts a scoop, and scoops a gigantic scoop of yogurt right into the middle of this spaghetti lamb bolognese. And I thought to myself, oh no, you just ruined the spaghetti. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you putting yogurt in the middle of a spaghetti? And she was like, no, this is how we do it in our country. She was referring to Palestine, but this is also something that's kind of more also a Turkish thing. This is how we do it in our country. It's very tasty. Try it out. And the kids are all happy, like, ooh, we got all the yogurt on top of our pasta. And they're already starting to eat, and I'm like, ugh, all right. This is weird. Yogurt on my pasta. And I bite into it. And oh my God. I was like, wow. How does no one know about this? Like, how do Puerto Ricans, Italian Americans, how do we not know about yogurt on pasta? It's delicious. And that was one of my first like mini culture shocks, which led to a very good food moment right here on the 3rd floor, right next door. And then we play Super Mario Brothers on their gigantic like 40-inch TV, because back then 40 inches was huge. Was it plain yogurt? Yeah, it was plain yogurt. Right over there. A Turkish friend made yogurt with pasta for me. It was great. Yeah, it is. It is surprisingly very interesting. So thank you so much, Sharon, for the $20 super chat. I appreciate you. Kenya says, so nostalgic indeed. Many happy returns on this day, says Nadesh. There will be a celebration with pasteles, empanadas, rice with pigeon peas, and baked ribs and mashed potatoes as a family, says Ark. Yeah, Ark. We're gonna go out to eat. Like putting Lucky Charms in your pasta, says Scott. It sounds weird, but it's actually really good. It's normal at least in Turkish cuisine. They're from Palestine, so I assume that they also do that. So Jimmy says, okay, so Jimmy's confirming, I'm Palestinian, and it is not traditional yogurt that's used, but seasoned yogurt, similar to a ricotta. Thank you so much. So yeah, it was a yogurt, but not your typical American liquidy yogurt. So after here, living until I was about 8 years old, I ended up moving to Puerto Rico. In Puerto Rico, I moved to an area called Rio Piedras, which was actually the area I was born. And we lived for a year over there in PR because my family missed the motherland and they wanted to see if they can find good work there again and reconnect with family and such and such. However, two things. A, it was the rainiest year in Puerto Rican history. Literally. I remember almost every single day it was raining. And then B, it was tough to find jobs. So we stayed there for a year, but my parents kind of gave up and they decided to come back here in New York City. Just the salaries did not compare. So we came back and we moved right across the street. Right over here. Right across the street on the 3rd floor. Laureen sent 1,000 stars. Laureen, thank you so much for 1,000 stars. And we have a $20 super chat from Sharon. Thank you so much, Sharon, for the $20 super chat, and Laureen for the 1,000 stars. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If I missed any of them, do remind me right now. Yogi says, have a great day. Thank you so much for tuning in, Yogi. We're gonna walk a little bit more. We're gonna walk towards my old school. So this is where I grew up, and let me see if I can find any cool photos. Let me see. Oh, do I have any cool photos? From over here, I do not specifically, but I will show you what New York City looked like during that time, because we did do a trip over to the Empire State Building, and those were the views for the Empire State Building. We see the Twin Towers, and also this was the view of the Flatiron District. Things have really changed. Flatiron is still there, but a lot of the buildings around it have changed. All right, let's walk around. 1,000 stars is about $10. Thank you so much, Laureen. I appreciate that. You must remember those trees well. Yeah. Yeah, these trees well. I wish I could show you the backyard. One thing I actually really remember, let me zoom in on this detail. One thing I really remember, and then a few houses down, I had a Ecuadorian family. I remember this family was so gigantic. They had like 6 kids from like 2 or 3 different parents. So it was like a huge extended family living in one apartment. And so I played with so many different Ecuadorian kids. And I remember going into their home and just being astonished on how efficient they were with space. So I remember these little green windows. To me, they reminded me of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was my favorite show. Maybe that is where my love for green started, and my love for orange. Maybe that's where it started. Is Urbanist Puerto Rican? Yes, I am, Greg. Yes, I'm Puerto Rican. Yes. Oh, we see a Greek flag over there. So let's backtrack, and we're going to walk around this way. Don't get too much noticed. They'll think you're stalking. Indeed, indeed. Indeed, Lena. So are these apartments inside? Yes, so those 2 apartments I showed you were 3 family units. Each floor was a different apartment. The smallest apartment is on the 1st floor. The 2nd floor is the same size as the 3rd floor, but the 2nd floor had a backyard access. The 3rd floor, no backyard access, and that's where we live. This is interesting. This is the first like big apartment building I've seen here in Jackson Heights, Queens, in this area, Jackson Heights. So things are changing. Things are changing. Actually, this is, I think, for the better. It's nice that they're building a bigger apartment building. Wow. I remember this lot was abandoned for years. So this house right over here, even when I was little, finally they built something, because when I was little, this was completely abandoned. It was a very creepy house. It was that creepy house in the neighborhood. And unlike other creepy houses in, like, say, movies, where in the kids' neighborhood, we didn't have any theories. We didn't actually know who lived there. But it was a house we were kind of scared to get nearby because everything was overgrown. There was a lot of vines all around. And it laid abandoned. And I remember coming back here even a few years ago because I did an episode on these very same streets back in 2017, 2018. And I remember seeing it abandoned. So finally, they built something new. Thank you, Lucy. We got Lucy T with 198 Hong Kong dollars. I appreciate it for the 198 Hong Kong. Thank you. Oh, this is for sale. Move right next door. I appreciate all the super chats. You are making this stream possible, says Candy. You are indeed. Everyone, you are making this live streams possible. Thank you so much for the super chats. They go into showing you interesting places, museums, public transportation, cool attractions, having data when I travel to other areas so I could take you live, and all the other cool things. Thank you so much. Julie with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Julie, with the $5. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you really enjoy this show, feel free to become a patron if you want to. Patrons get access to bonus videos. And also they get access to the Urbanist Insiders Club, which is a once a month private YouTube video. So here is where my babysitter lived. I actually stayed because both of my parents were working. So I stayed with a babysitter for most of the time, and my babysitter was also Ecuadorian. And then the PayPal is there for if you want to leave a contribution that I get 100% of it. Thank you so much, Julie. I appreciate you. Who, where in Queens? We are we're in Jackson Heights, Queens. Some people might know this a little bit more as East Elmhurst, Queens. Though colloquially, a lot of my friends also knew it as Jackson Heights. So actually, I wonder, let me see if a lot of people the corn on the front. So one thing, this Ecuadorian family, I don't see it, okay. One thing this Ecuadorian family had in the front of their house, 2 stalks of corn. I remember being, apparently it's a Ecuadorian tradition to do so. Hey, we have a lot of super chats. Hey, wish I lived in New York, but this is close enough, says Julie. Julie, so glad I can take you here. Ava, thank you so much for a $15 super chat. Whoa, that is generous. I remember this a lot, the huge pineapples. This is a very common fixture in Jackson Heights, Queens. Hey, so we have Wendy J with a very great question and Canadian 10. Thank you so much for sending over 10 Canadians. Love it when I get more Canadians. Are you glad you grew up in a more residential neighborhood, or you have grown up in a more dense area like Washington Heights? That's a good question, Wendy. That is a very good question. Very good question, Wendy. So, thank you again for the $10 Canadian. In my early childhood, it really did not make a difference. Actually, I think it did make a difference. In my very early childhood, I felt very comfortable living in this area because it was quiet. Aside from the roaring airplanes overhead, it was generally quiet and very safe. And a lot of the kids around here were good kids. You know, there was no like gangs, no crime, no fights really. A lot of the cultures that lived here were kind of more kind of relaxed cultures, which is very common with South Americans. You know, kind of the culture is a little bit more chill. So I really enjoyed that. But then when I got a little bit older, when I started really passing the age of 11, living in this area was a bit boring for me at 11 years old, because I was still a bit far away from like the local bodega. I had to like walk a little bit too far for the subway. And at 11 years old, I wish I was closer so I would feel more comfortable to go to the subway or to go to the local bodega or to go to like a movie theater, playground. But I was a bit too far away back then. So I think at 11 is when I wish I would have lived in a place like Washington Heights or more Jackson Heights in the middle. So we're getting close. We're gonna pass by 2 stops here before we get back in the car. Ariel Vieira, my own dad, is watching right now, waiting probably in front of the school stop. For a $5 super chat. P, wow, Chilean 900. That's very for the 20 of you. Super chat. Wait. Bear with me, everyone. Ignore the trolls. Ignore the trolls. If someone's impersonating someone else, you will be immediately banned. Thank you so much, everyone, for the super chat. My screen is filled with super chats. Whoa, James, you're just filling up my screen even more. Happy birthday, $2, and happy Juneteenth. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. So these kids are riding on the scooter. Scooters were already like 10. And I remember I got myself a Razor scooter and I loved it. I loved the scooter. So it's funny seeing. I love the scooter. So here we have where I realized the heritage of this neighborhood. It wasn't so visible in many parts here in Jackson Heights, which I'll show you soon. But this is one of the few remnants of the Irish American presence that used to be here before my time. This is a pub, Cassidy's Ale House. I remember being so fascinated by it. I've always wanted to go in. Never got managed to go in. Let's take a peek inside. Really old school pub. Oh my God. There's only one person in there. Mr. Bowman says, I keep on stopping. Hey! Monica, have a happy birthday. Thank you so much, Monica. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Laureen. Send me a birthday PayPal. Everyone, Laureen has been, there's many people who have been very generous, and Laureen is one of them. So Laureen, thank you so much for the super chat. You're so kind. So kind for the super chat. Mary says, I'm frozen on Facebook. Hopefully still playing on Facebook. Let me know. Go inside the pub. It's a bit weird to go inside a pub randomly. But I showed you at least through the window. And Lori, thank you so much. And Mikkel, thank you so much. Lori is a big supporter, indeed she is, Mega Urbanist. We have a few Mega Urbanists like Susan, Kay, we have a few others. Do let me know if you're tuning in and you're a Mega Urbanist. And let's continue walking around. All right. So here's a little supermarket. This wasn't here back then. And this was the main mall area of where I grew up in. I'm starting to sweat. It's very hot today. All right. We gotta find some shade soon. Ariel, would you like to live in Queens now as an adult? Asked Caddy. Great question, Would I live? Jack, they're too thick. It becomes very cool again. Oh, that's okay. We're Carolyn sent 500. Oh no, we're not back again. Okay, we're back. Carolyn sent 500 stars. Thank you so much for 500 stars. About $5. Thank you so much. Lil Bob is also a mega urbanist, says Susan. Yes, indeed. On behalf of yourself, Lil Bob is also a super urbanist. We got $25 super chat. Monica, wow. Monica, you're so kind with the $25 super chat. We're getting so many super chats. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If Jackson Heights becomes very popular again, or not again, but it becomes popular in the same level as like a Soho or Williamsburg, it's doable. Might change the neighborhood though. I would. Or if Jackson Heights builds condominium towers as tall enough that I can see views of the New York City skyline, I think I would move here in a heartbeat. I think that would be really cool. So yeah, that'll probably be only the 2 times I would move. All right, so now we are in this little shopping area, and this is where I came a lot as a little kid, obviously. Because what you do as a little kid, you accompany your parents to do shopping. And this was one of the places. Hey, thank you so much, Susan. Hey, Kenya says, su hijo es un amor. Gracias por usted también criarlo muy bien. Kenya says, saying thanks to my dad for raising me well. Yes, thank you so much. So right over here, we have what used to be wall bounds. Let me know if you're a New Yorker or if you're from the US and you remember wall bounds. No water? No, no water today. I'm going backpackless. But look at this. This is the old wall bounds. It has changed significantly. George says he used to shoplift there. No, I never shoplifted, only once. It was when I was a very little kid and I didn't know any better. I'll tell you a little bit. Do you guys want to know that story? Let me know. So here is the, but it's not, Canal Pastries. And the pizzeria. Different pizzeria owners as well. It used to be called Rosa's Pizza. And I remember eating my lasagna slices here, but now it is a different pizzeria. And I always remember a Greek restaurant here, but I never went to the restaurant. I always remember seeing the restaurant so empty. Not this one specifically right now. You remember wall bounds in Eastchester, Scarsdale, says David. Oh, cool. I remember wall bounds. Maze and Fortunoffs as well, says Renee. Oh my God, you're amazing. Hello, sir. Very good live with Patrick Lopez. Have you seen Saw you trying a lot of different amazing treats? Yes, that was amazing. All right. Okay, so let me walk inside the I'll show you a little bit more of it. But I have a feeling to have music on, so I'm gonna play some music in the meanwhile. All right, so it had bad service. Can't stay in too long of a line. It had bad service, but that was a little look into my old pastry shop. I remember getting these cookies that were huge, and they were chocolate chip, huge. I mean, not chocolate chip, chocolate sprinkles, very huge. And in the middle, they had a cartoon character made that was edible, and it was like the face of a cartoon character. And they had like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They had the Cookie Monster. They had Spider-Man. I think they even had Wolverine from X. Cookies. It was the little face part. It was sugar. Here used to be a Genovese. Chocolate sprinkles, yeah. And here. Yeah, here it is. Oh my God. I remember being so fascinated by this laundromat. Let's go inside. I'll put on my mask. Thank you so much, Ava, for $15. Wow, looks exactly the same. Oh my God. That place has not changed. It's literally exactly the same. I didn't want to linger too much in there because sometimes they don't like people filming. But wow, that looks exactly the same. Same wall painting, same machines. Literally the same. Did not change anything about the laundromat. All right, now let's walk to my old school and meet up again with my dad to continue on to our final stop. We have 2 more stops left. Old school and then the other school I went to. So elementary, and then we're gonna see middle school. I can smell the sweetness, says Tammy. Yeah, I can smell the detergent. CB says, please put the chat in slow mode. I can't do it right now. It's not possible. We have a lot of people tuning in. How did we get so many people? Hey everyone, I can't do anything right now, but everyone give a round of hearts to all the moderators. Today we had a few people causing a bit of a fuss in the comments, so thank you for all the moderators in making sure that they disappear for good. So thank you so much. Moderators, don't be gentle today. Today, put the hammer down and we'll continue with good vibes. Thank you so much, moderators. So here we're approaching my school. Wow, this has changed a little bit. A lot more trees have been planted. And this is a senior citizen housing. It says we will not leave witnesses. Indeed. Hey, Diana, thank you so much for tuning in. How far is this place from Manhattan? Asked Queen Mother. Great question, Queen Mother. So, to walk to the 7 train will take you about 15 minutes. It is a bit farther of a walk. Wow. About 15 minutes, and then taking the 7 train, probably more 15 minutes more. So you'll get to the city about 30 minutes. You can take the bus if you time it well. You can get a little bit less. By car, probably around the same time. Yeah, because there's usually traffic. If you found no traffic whatsoever and went in the really off hours, it would be 15 minutes to get to the city. Hey, Irene says I sent a super chat today. Couldn't do it in FB. No worries, Irene. Thank you so much for allowing us to experience New York City without paying the airfare, says Debbie. My pleasure, Debbie. My pleasure. S. Field says, remember to press that like button. Yes, slam that like button like the sound of the airplane used to slam my poor little eardrums when I was a toddler. Slam that like button right now and let me know if you're on team like. Is it normal to have planes flying that low? Well, we are right next to LaGuardia Airport. LaGuardia Airport, you could almost walk to it. It's about a 30-minute walk. It is very close. Here is Our Lady of Fatima. And this is where I went to school until the 2nd grade. Kindergarten, 1st grade, and 2nd grade. 3 years, came over here and went to Our Lady of Fatima. Do you get the Museum of Natural History when you were little? Says Inspire Life. Great question. Yes, the Museum of Natural History was a field trip various times. I remember. Whoa. Do fly low. Yeah. Hey, Smee. Thank you so much for a $10 super chat, Smee. I appreciate you. So Our Lady of Fatima is of course named after the Marian apparition seen in Portugal, but this I don't think was established by Portuguese Catholics. I think it was established by Irish Catholics because almost the entire older staff was Irish American. And here's a church. Me encantan los aviones. Oh, qué bien. And Smee, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Appreciate you, Smee. Smee and so many other people have been so kind. We've gotten so many super chats this time. Thank you so much. Is Catholic school expensive? It was not expensive back in the day. I'm not sure what the prices are, but I know it did not break my parents' wallet. And we were middle class, so no. Hyde says, shockingly loud. I look forward to electric aircrafts. Me too. A very happy birthday, says Phil. Thank you so much, Phil. Here's to your fire. Oh, you wrote my post. Thank you. Oh, there's another one. To me, did I walk to school? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, I did. But not alone. I usually came with my babysitter. early in the day. So here, I remember this church looking so gigantic. So let's take a step inside. I remember it being huge. But of course, I've seen some of the larger basilicas and cathedrals in the world. Oh, is it close? Oh, that's not nice. So here's where I have my, oh, never mind. Yeah, here's where I have my communion. Thank you so much, Earth Paradise, for $5 super chat. All right. So yeah, I choose to be quiet in churches in order to respect peace. I have very good experience in Catholic school. I know it's different for people of the generations prior to me. I know Catholic schools were a lot more stricter. When I went to Catholic school, there was a transition from, as I mentioned many times before during this broadcast, from Irish Americans to Italian Americans. Irish Americans, as far as I know, from what I've heard from many personal experiences from many of my family friends, and also from people who are older, around 50 plus, they told me that it was very strict in many of the Catholic schools around New York. And sometimes to the point where there was some type of physical abuse in terms of punishment. And of course, much more things than that, which I won't get into in terms of the news, and I won't get into that other topic. But for me personally, I had a very good experience. And I'm very grateful for the amazing experience I had in this school and the other Catholic schools I went to. But of course, that is my own personal experience. And I'm grateful for how nice it was. Now, my priest that you see there, I think he was the Monsignor. He was the Monsignor. That Monsignor, yes indeed, does look exactly like Pope John Paul II. And I remember when I was a little kid, I thought to myself, oh, I didn't know our local Monsignor was the Pope. Only years later I realized, oh yeah, they're two different people. But yeah, he did look like Pope John Paul II. I just want to wish you happy birthday. May God bless you forever. Thank you so much. Hey, Margie said, I had a good experience in the 60s also, but I know others didn't. But lay teachers abused also back in the day, yeah, indeed. I sympathize with you on the airplane noise. I grew up 5 miles from O'Hare Airport in Chicago when you were a little kid. Yeah. You know, I'm like about a mile or less from LaGuardia Airport, around there. So if anyone can let me know exactly the distance, but it's around 1 to 2 miles. Can you show that again, Janice? The shrine? Sure, Janice. Sure. I know I have a lot of Irish American viewers from New York, so maybe sometimes you might know the clergy that used to be here. This guy, yeah, definitely Irish American by the last name. Reverend Maurice Lenihan, 1974. He founded the parish of Our Lady of Fatima back in 1948. Look at that. 1948 was this guy. Hey, Husky, thank you so much for a $20 super chat. Disfrútalo, hermano. Husky says in Spanish, enjoy it, brother. Thank you so much, Husky. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for the generous super chat. Ariel, today's your birthday? Happy birthday. Yes, I can now confirm that today is indeed the day of my birth, the day I was incarnated upon this earthly realm to laugh, eat, sleep, and occasionally entertain by pointing at things. So thank you so much. AKA my birthday, yes. So here's the front entrance. My dad is already waiting. So I'm going to show you a little bit of the front. A lot of barbed wire here. That's intense. I didn't remember barbed wire when I was a little kid. All right, and now I'm gonna ask my dad to put back the music of Urbanist music, and we'll continue walking around. All right, let's go. My dad's already dancing to the beat. And let's open up the door. Thank you. All right. And let's put that air conditioning high because I am hot. Goodbye to Our Lady of Fatima and to our last stop, Blessed Sacrament School. A lot of people in the comments were saying that you look the same from from many years ago. He's giving the thumbs up.
My birthday too. Just a few years older. Now.
Just a few, right? Just maybe 10 or so.
Right? 10. 5.
Ooh, it's nice to have air conditioning. Hey, Stephanie, hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're recovering. Inspire Life says, hey, Mr. Rivera. Greg says, ask your dad what was like it on the day of my birth. Stephanie, my dad is indeed not. I was actually born on Father's Day. So if you want to say just briefly, how was it?
It was great. Very surprised.
Very surprised.
Great surprise. Yeah.
good present.
What a day.
It's a lifelong present.
Lifelong present.
Your dad is a rock star, says Miss Fancy. Indeed he is. He's also a musician. He plays bass and flute. Seren, nice to see you here. Seren, welcome. Guadalupe, happy birthday on your birthday season. Thank you so much, Guadalupe. The best present for Father's Day, says CB. Indeed it is. Hello, Michelle. Welcome. Rainer, thank you so much for the good birthday wishes. Feel free to ask me anything as we're driving to our last final stop. Not much to chat about here, but I have one friend who lived in this immediate area, and then after Northern Boulevard, I had many others who still are based in that area. We need your dad on the next album, says Inspire Life. Indeed, he has to play some flute. We'll have some riffs of flute on the lo-fi album. Yeah, let's continue straight and then we'll turn, because this is a beautiful avenue.
Yeah. 34.
Yeah. So here we're starting to see the big condominiums, cooperative. Jackson Heights was the first apartment-centered neighborhood. And here's IS 145, yeah. Yeah. And the courtyards are gorgeous. Hope to show it to you one day. Garden cities in all of the cities were with co-ops. Garden cities were basically small insular cities with a lot of greenery that was just outside of the main city. And in this case, it was just outside of New York or Manhattan. Here's 34th Avenue, one of the more beautiful avenues in all of Jackson Heights, Queens. And this is the disco remix of the main theme song. Go into the water by Midnight Surgeon. Says Girl in the Curl. Girl in the Curl, I'm so glad you can go back into the water. That's so awesome. Says Inspire Life. Indeed. We got more than 600 people tuning in at the same time. Yeah, we had a lot of people tuning in today. I didn't even title it New York. Well, great neighborhood to grow up in, Ariel. Indeed it was. Indeed it was. Cool disco remix, says Candy. Oh yeah. Open. Appreciate you and for moderating. Joe says, hey Ariel, I'm dealing with star stuff on FB. Hopefully it'll go through. Yeah, hopefully it will, Joe. Joe, remember, you have to buy in and send it. Hey Hanson, nice to see you here. My favorite jazz piece is Afro Blues by John Coltrane and Mikola Tyner. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, Joseph. S. Field says, I should produce also a disco album. I actually would really love that. And where's the location you kissed Winnie Cooper for the first time, says George. George, I think you're getting me mixed up with a popular sitcom. Though I'm not sure which sitcom had a Winnie Cooper. The Inspire Life says, you guys make a great team. Stephanie says, you should be masticating. I will be masticating later. But no, not on live video. So this is what would be called Jackson Heights proper. The neighborhood of Jackson Heights technically only goes up to Northern Boulevard. Here's one of the older Episcopal churches that is now a Methodist church. So Jackson Heights only officially goes up to Northern Boulevard. And the rest, as I mentioned, is East Helmhurst. But since we're so close, we would consider it Jackson Heights. Inspire Life says, who's a better cook, you or your dad? My dad's pointing at me. Yes, my dad does not cook at all. So it's basically me.
Fried eggs.
Fried eggs. He's very good at fried eggs, yes. He's very good at fried eggs. And banana smoothies when I was younger. All right, let's show around. Let's actually open this up. It's gonna be a little bit hot, but it's okay. We can close it later. All right. Another of the Catholic schools I never went into this church. I gotta come back here one of these days. Local buses also passing through. And as you can see, this is a lot more dense than where I lived. A lot more taller buildings here. Hey Maria from Brazil, tamo junto. Welcome. Thank you so much for the birthday wishes. No wonder you're into architecture, says George, because just look at this area. Yeah, this. You're right, George. I grew up around probably one of the more beautiful neighborhoods of New York City, bar none. The architecture here, mostly in Tudor style, is just gorgeous. Lots of beautiful churches as well, and of course nearby is the elevated subway train. What are your plans for the evening? Food. Lots of it. Nice funky music, says S. Fields. Oh yeah. More from the Urbanist album. Tu papá se ve muy joven. Tú eres que se ve el mayor de 20. Ark says, my dad looks very young. I look just a little bit more than 20. Cauliflower, wow, cauliflower. That's so generous of you. $40 super chat. I appreciate you, cauliflower. Cauliflower is so generous for giving a $40 super chat. Thank you so much, cauliflower. That's super generous of you. You're very generous with your super chats. You've given many, many wonderful super chats and multiple times throughout the broadcast. So thank you so much, everyone. Give hearts for that mega $40 super chat, joining the ranks of Laureen for a very, very generous amount. Thank you so much. We're having a party. Indeed we are, Kenya. Indeed we are. I'm gonna put a different song. Let's see. We gotta put it. Oh, we're gonna put this one. What song? There we go. Yeah, turn. Yeah. Turn here on 93rd.
You can't go the other one.
No, but park in this park in the street. Yeah. I'm gonna just walk around for a little bit. Yeah. All right, wonderful. Okay, so I'm gonna walk around for a little bit. Walk around. About 15 minutes. 15, yeah, 15. All right, so I'll walk around for a little bit. Everyone, say goodbye to my dad because we'll depart from him now.
All right. Thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for driving us around as well. Yeah. So
Thank you
give hearts to my dad right now. And let's walk around for a final stop. Hey, Mirna, thank you so much for the $10 Canadian, Mirna. I appreciate you. Easy to find a parking spot. Yeah, we got very lucky. So we're gonna walk around, and let me drink a little bit of water. Wait up, let me drink a little bit more water, because I'm very thirsty. All right. Thank you. All right. All right, big hearts to my dad. We're gonna walk around, I'm gonna do the full circle. This is where I went to middle school. We would call it here in the US. Let me know what you call it in your area of the world. It was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. In 8th grade, I graduated and then went on to high school. So here we have Blessed Sacrament Roman Catholic Church, founded in 1929. Also had an incredible experience in this place. Irene says, thanks to Ariel's dad. And this is one of the few Art Deco churches I've seen. And I love this. It was so cool that I had an Art Deco church. I did not realize really the full weight of having an Art Deco church. So do you guys want to go inside? And I graduated the top of my class. Not really Queen Mother. Not really. So I'm gonna put my mask on because I'm going inside the church. I was mostly a B student almost my entire academic career. I rarely was an A student. The subject I did usually the best was sometimes history, depending on the class, and basically that's it. I was just mostly a B student. I was a B student most of the time. All right, let's walk inside. Seems to be an event. Just look at this architecture. I wish I could show you closer, but there's a private event. Janice, thank you so much for 500 stars. You're so generous, Janice. Thank you. This church is gorgeous. Wow.
Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre, venga a nosotros tu reino, hágase tu voluntad en la tierra como en el cielo. Danos hoy nuestro pan de cada día, perdona nuestras ofensas como también nosotros perdonamos a los que nos ofenden. No nos dejes caer en tentación y líbranos del mal. Ahora vamos a hacer una bendición para todas las madres que están aquí, que se quedan separadas.
That's in Spanish? It is.
Dios, autor del amor y de la vida, que has dado plenitud a los corazones maternales llenándolos de ternura hacia sus hijos e hijas. Las bendiga a ustedes, madres, y puesto que están agradecidas por haber recibido a esos niños, que gocen del amor de sus hijos.
So cool. That church, wow, they really kept it up well. Dawn, thank you so much for the 19 pound, wow, 20 pound, 20 pound super chat, which is a lot. It's about $40, 30 to $40. Thank you so much. That's so generous of you. Thank you so much, Dawn. I always appreciate you watching. You've been watching for years. So give a round of hearts to Dawn. Very generous super chat, which is about $35, $36, $37. Thank you so much. There's even a little shop inside. There is indeed, there is indeed. So here is where I have another memory. This is where I had my first confession, I think it was. Confession, yeah, first confession. I had to choose a patron saint for myself, and my own patron saint was Saint Francis of Assisi. I chose him because I really dug his style. I like how he talked to animals. I've never been really an animal person, but I admire the natural world. So I chose him as my patron saint. And here's me during that sacrament. And this is our local Monsignor, who I think was Italian American. Most of the older staff here also, like Our Lady family, was Irish American, but there was a lot of new younger people coming in, which were Italians. And then later on, I had my graduation. Here it is, inside the church. Well, my classmates and my friends who I still keep in contact with to this day. And a lot of them are still locals to Queens. Isn't it so cool that this is an Art Deco church? Like, how many Art Deco churches are there? It's not that often. So cool. All right, I'm gonna go to the backside of the school. This is rarely open. I am peeking in with love. Did you then go to Bryant? No, Judith. I went then to St. Francis Prep. Judith, great question. St. Francis Prep. Ironically, the patron saint I chose ended up being the school I ended up going to, but it was St. Francis Prep in Fresh Meadows, Queens. My mom's old stomping ground, says Hippie. Love the Art Deco. I never thought about it, but you're right. I haven't seen an Art Deco church. Yep, they're very rare. Very, very rare. I wonder who's the architect. And I wonder if they built anything else like it. I went to an Art Deco high school, says David. Yeah, Art Deco high schools I've seen. That's so cool. Finished in 1930. I've also shown last year, I went to a neighborhood called Valley Stream, and they had an Art Deco high school as well. Now, this is the older school building, and it is not in Art Deco style. It's more kind of Tudor-esque, maybe. Now it's no longer a Catholic school. It has been converted to a public school. And this is the main entrance to the auditorium. Nina says, happy birthday. Looking forward to your birthday tour this year. We're all happy that you were born. Enjoy your celebration, says Nina. Thank you so much, Nina. I appreciate you. Marie says, Valley Stream is your old hood. That's so cool. Nancy says, tell your dad happy Father's Day. And I love Jackson Heights. I already posted above this. I'm so glad you enjoy this. And yes, I will relay the happy Father's Day to my dad here in the US on June. The third Sunday of June is Father's Day, which is tomorrow. Congrats, Ariel, says Alex. Thank you so much. Ark dice, no me imaginaba que Queens fuera bonito y con el plus de los aviones y, que me encantan. So Ark says, I never thought that Queens was going to be so beautiful, plus the airplanes flying overhead. Sí, es bien bellísimo. Aquí uno barrios más bonito en todo Nueva York. La arquitectura es bien bonito y es a propósito porque era un barrio que lo querían hacerlo bien rico y carero y bonito. So yes, this neighborhood is indeed beautiful. And the reason is because originally it was going to be planned to be a high-end neighborhood. Hence, that's why they use the word heights. We're actually now, there's no huge piles of schist here like in Washington Heights. We're now walking up huge hills. This is basically the only hill we're gonna walk up. Look at how tiny that little hill is. It's a slight change in elevation, nothing more. So this is not actual heights, but the reason they called it heights was because heights were always associated with higher class neighborhoods. So it's a misnomer. Janet says, no schist to be had here. Roy with the 149 super chat. Appreciate you, Roy. I know you are much younger, Ariel. Was Truck Full of Nuts on 82nd Street when you were young? Oh, waitress. No, Truck Full of Nuts was, I saw the signs, but it was already starting to disappear. I remember this all too well. And let me mute for a little bit. Roy, thank you so much for the 149. And also Joe, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I know you're struggling a little bit with Facebook. It's a difficult platform. You're not the only one. Thank you so much for sending a super chat, though. I appreciate you, Joe. Joe has been watching for many, many months. Has been a very loyal viewer. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. And here's the entrance. So the funny thing is, I went to another school for 4th and 5th grade called PS 152. It's basically my only public school experience, and it was also very nice. And then I went to Blessed Sacrament. So funnily enough, once I got to high school, my dad used to work in the Bronx, and then he started working at PS 152 right after I already finished school there. And then many years later, when I finished school here, this was converted into a public school, and he was transferred over here to what is now PS 280. So I found that very funny that he ended up following me in school, but he was working there instead of, kind of attending. When are you going to celebrate tonight? Tonight, after this, we're gonna have a nice dinner. Love and best wishes. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. Hey, Sunshine Girl. Thank you so much for the best wishes. So here we have. Friends, what will you tell your younger selves? Yes, S. Fields. That's a great question. Let's put that for everyone. Everyone, right now in the comments, let us know, what will you tell your younger selves? Is pie in the menu? Oh, I'm gonna find pie some way, somehow. The place we're going does not have pie per se, but I will find pie. No matter what anyone says. Pie will be eaten today. I hope you have a good birthday. Thank you so much. Hello, Chun. Says happy birthday. Always healthy, and have a happy birthday from Hong Kong. Nina says don't take things personally to your past selves. Yes. Chun says hold tight to time. Chun would say. Manfred says your father should be very proud. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Mr. Romantica says, I would tell myself not to stress about the future. Inspire Life says it's a quiet neighborhood. Indeed it is. It's always been a pretty quiet neighborhood. Not like Washington Heights where it's much louder, much quieter neighborhood here. And there's open streets. The streets here are closed. You can walk in the middle of them now. Happy birthday from Daytona Beach. All right, everyone, if you have any last remaining questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to stroll just a little bit more, show you this school, but feel free to ask any other questions that you're curious about myself, about my upbringing. And then we're going to go to our regularly scheduled programming on Wednesday, 1 p.m. And Greece, starting June 30th and until July 19th, I'll be there, and I will be announcing the schedule soon. Nina, how old am I? Oh, guess. I would say to myself, you're beautiful no matter what, says Kenya. That's right, Kenya. That's a good thing to say to yourself. Celebrate with a glass of fizzy. I am going to have a good Negroni. That's what I'm going to have. I love Negroni. You're right by Junction Boulevard. I am. Greece trip will be pretty epic. I think so. Janice says I'm more than 25. I'm guessing you're in your 30s, says the waitress. Shh, don't tell anyone I'm 21. Shh. Invest my 20,000 in 200 Bitcoin in 2009. With Justin, will you tell your younger self? Justin, that is a very smart thing. I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing if I can go back in time. I say, hey, invest in Bitcoin and pull out now before it crashes. Hey, Carmen. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. This was fun, says Melody. Oh, I'm so happy you had so much fun. Happy blessed day. Thank you so much for sharing your birthday with all of us. My absolute pleasure. Barb says 32. I am the same age as what it means to be the highest level of Freemason. I am the same age as Jesus Christ was in his final year. I am the same age as the emoticon of a heart, but someone, teenager is getting too excited and puts an extra number in that. And I'll leave it at that. Don't write it down in the comments. If you guessed it, keep it to yourself. All right. So this was a wonderful walkthrough. Hey, Dr. Tachi, nice to see you here. Welcome. This was one of the apartments of one of my close friends, Mike Frere, if you're still watching. Hope you're doing well. My friend Samantha as well. Keep in contact with them. Travel more, worry less, says Janice. You would tell that to your younger self. I agree. And I think I'm going to do exactly that. Tammy says, you're on track for a beautiful life. Oh, thank you so much. And the same age as my plant, says Miss Fancy. Age is only a number, says Kay. Indeed it is. Ah, wow. Everyone, I really enjoyed showing you around my neighborhood. Let me put this camera down. I enjoyed showing you around my neighborhood. I hope, ooh, we have an Urbanist orange car. Right there. Look at that. Yeah. I like that shirt, says Dr. Tachi. Thank you so much, Dr. Tachi. So it's been a long journey from this cementing myself as an entertainer, as a filmmaker, really solidifying my career, making sure it builds a good foundation. I love making puns. I love making puns with stuff that just randomly pops by. I was wearing a Batman shirt. Yes, indeed. I was wearing a Batman shirt. So feel free to become a patron if you want to. Thank you everyone so much for tuning in. And it was such a pleasure showing you around. Urbanist is something I really love deeply doing. I love showing places all around the world. So give a huge round of hearts to all the wonderful moderators that have made the comment section such a wonderful place to be. There's sometimes more challenging streams than others. Today was a little bit more challenging stream, but the moderators did an excellent job. So give a round of hearts to them, and give a round of hearts to all the super urbanists who do such a kick-ass job in sponsoring these videos. I don't really partner up with too many sponsors. It is very rare. And the reason I do that is because I prefer the majority of these videos to be for you directly. And if I do get a sponsor, it has to be aligned with what you want to see. So the super urbanists and the mega urbanists are the sponsors of this show, and many of them do so via Patreon. So thank you so much for keeping the show alive, thriving, and available to people all around the world for free as well, so they can tune in, because not everyone, of course, can sponsor, and that's okay. That's why I make these videos for free, because I want to give a piece of virtual travel to everyone. Everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate all of you for tuning in, for all the kind comments, for all the kind vibes, for all the wonderful questions, comments, dissertations, transcendental questions, existential crises, and beautiful moments of joy that's shared with these videos. Keep being awesome, and I truly mean that, and always keep on exploring. Have a great day, everyone. From Jackson Heights, Queens. Cue the music. Oh yeah. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Wait. I gotta cue the music. Cue the music. Go, music, go. Yeah!